How does an instrument of torture become a symbol of hope? It's one of history's greatest paradoxes, and today we're diving deep into it. We're talking about a crown, not of gold and jewels, but of thorns. Let's get into it.
So, picture this. The scene is raw. It's brutal. Inside the governor's headquarters, Roman soldiers have Jesus surrounded. And just like the Bible tells us in the book of John, they twist together this instrument of pain, and they just jam it onto his head. It's a moment of pure, calculated cruelty, and it's one that's going to echo for centuries.
And that's the big question, right? The central paradox we're going to unpack here. How on earth does an object of mockery, of pure agony, become a symbol of victory and redemption for billions of people? Well, to get the answer, we have to look way deeper at what was really going on in that moment.
Okay, so let's really set the scene. We're in the Praetorium, that's the governor's headquarters, and Jesus is surrounded by a whole group of soldiers. Now, this isn't just some random chaotic cruelty. Oh no, this was a performance, a meticulously staged act of humiliation. I mean, you gotta put yourself in their shoes. To these soldiers, the whole idea that this beaten, broken man in front of them claimed to be a king, it was hilarious, absolutely absurd. So they decide to play along, to mock him with all the things a king should have: a purple robe, a reed for a scepter, and of course, a twisted, painful crown of thorns. Their only goal here was ridicule.
But here's where the story takes this incredible turn. Because without even knowing it, those soldiers were using a symbol that had a much, much deeper meaning. To really get what this crown is all about, we have to go way back.
And I'm not just talking about rewinding the clock a few days or a few weeks to when Jesus was arrested. No, we've got to go much, much further back in the story. That's right. The key to understanding the Crown of Thorns isn't found in that Roman headquarters. It's found all the way back in the Garden of Eden. And boom, there it is, the connection. Right there in the book of Genesis, after the very first sin, the ground itself is cursed. And what's the first physical sign of that curse that's mentioned? Thorns and thistles. So you see, thorns became more than just a plant. They became a physical symbol of a broken world. A world filled with pain and struggle and separation from God. And in their attempt to mock a king, those Roman soldiers unknowingly placed the very symbol of humanity's curse on the one person who, according to Christian theology, had come to bear it.
And this brings us right back to that central paradox. The soldiers' mockery, the joke they thought they were telling, actually ended up revealing the true nature of Jesus' kingship. It wasn't a kingdom of this world, and it sure wasn't defined by worldly power.
Just look at this contrast. It's amazing. A worldly king has a crown of gold, right? Jesus gets a crown of thorns. A worldly king rules with force. Jesus rules through sacrifice. It's like their joke totally backfired and accidentally created the perfect symbol for a completely different kind of power.
I mean, Jesus says it himself. He tells the Roman governor Pilate, "My kingdom is not of this world." It's like he's saying, you guys are playing by a completely different set of rules. My authority, my power, it comes from somewhere else entirely.
The Apostle Paul really unpacks this in the book of Philippians. He says that even though Jesus was divine, he didn't cling to his power. He did the opposite. He willingly set it aside. He humbled himself all the way to becoming a servant. And that radical humility, that's the very foundation of his kingship. It's just wild when you think about it.
So, this crown wasn't just about suffering, it was about purpose. According to the New Testament, Jesus wore that crown to accomplish something very, very specific.
And this really gets to the heart of Christian belief, this idea of substitution. The crown of thorns, the symbol of the curse, was placed on Jesus' head so he could literally take that curse on himself in our place. It's exactly what the prophet Isaiah wrote about centuries earlier. He was wounded for our transgressions.
So really, if we were to define the crown of thorns, it's this. It is the one unique crown of suffering worn only once for the specific purpose of absorbing the curse of sin and death. And here's what's really fascinating. The writers of the New Testament say that this one act of sacrifice, wearing this one crown of suffering, is actually the key that unlocks a whole series of rewards, which they also call crowns.
Check these out. You've got the crown of life for those who endure trials, the crown of righteousness for those who live by faith, the crown of rejoicing for leading others to faith, the victor's crown for finishing the race, and the crown of glory for faithful leaders. The whole theological point is that because Jesus wore that one crown of suffering, these 5 crowns of glory are now even possible.
Okay, so let's bring all this together.
The journey of this symbol, the crown of thorns, is a complete transformation. It goes from being an instrument of absolute shame to a testament of ultimate glory.
You can really boil it all down to this one idea: a great exchange. He wore the curse so that we could receive the crown of life.
And it is so important to remember this. The story does not end at the cross, not even close. In the book of Revelation, the final book of the Bible, the resurrected Christ isn't wearing a crown of thorns. No, the text says he's wearing many crowns, a symbol of ultimate, total victory and authority. The crown of mockery is traded for crowns of eternal kingship.
And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. The story of the Crown of Thorns completely flips our whole understanding of power on its head. It makes us ask ourselves, what does it really mean to find ultimate power? Not in dominance, but in sacrifice. Not on a throne, but on a cross.